folks, Dave here, and today I'm taking a look at a game that has honestly quite surprised me. I'm going to go over why it surprised me, and then I'm going to have some raw gameplay for you guys that aren't able to play the closed beta. We are of course looking here at World War III, which delivers what the name implies. It's a modern combat shooter which takes a lot of cues from older Battlefield games. I've seen a lot of comparisons to Battlefield 4 with this game, but I really love the very gritty modern look at what World War III might look like in the eastern areas of Europe and on into Russia itself. Somehow it seems just a little more down to earth than Battlefield 4 ever did. Now, as you guys are well aware, the shooter market, especially here on PC, is pretty saturated right now. There's a lot of great shooters out there, both in early access, in beta form, and coming up on the horizon here. This game is incredibly ambitious, and so when I first heard about it, it was very tempting to kind of write it off as, oh look, it's another Battlefield clone and they're going all in this time with vehicles and everything else. This is probably not going to do well. So after the initial trailer announcement, I kind of let it slip under my radar until I played a build at Gamescom where I kind of ate my words just a bit. There was a lot of really solid stuff there, but the overall performance was really awful in the Gamescom build. Nothing unexpected for a pre-alpha, but because of that rough performance in the single map that we got to play, there wasn't anything about this game that really caught my eye as, oh, this is going to be incredible. It just looked like yet another early access shooter. Well guys, let me go ahead and just eat my words once again, because now that the closed beta period has started, and we have multiple maps now, this game has a surprising amount of content to offer already. This beta build is also running miles better than what I played at Gamescom. I'm getting 70 to 100 plus FPS with all of the settings on Ultra. And while the game does have some slightly softer, lower res textures, the map sizes are pretty incredible, with some of the most striking and convincing urban environments that I've seen in a modern tactical shooter in quite a while. There's plenty of room to roam around here, and a surprising amount of interior spaces on these large maps as well. There's entire indoor malls or government facilities that you're going to be fighting through. And to see all of that running, again, so much better than it was just a few months ago is quite surprising and really just impressive. Now that the performance is running better, I've had a chance to really put a couple of hours into the gameplay here and see what this game offers. And while, as you guys might have heard from other people who are trying the beta out, there are some balancing issues that could use some attention, the gunplay here is already sitting on a really solid foundation. The time to kill is relatively fast, but with an armor component where shot placement is really going to matter. There is again some odd balancing issues with how players' helmets react to heavy damage from, say, a sniper rifle, but overall the gunplay does feel very good already. Players who tap or burst fire and control their shots can easily win engagements with multiple opponents. Changing your rifle's selector switch to semi-auto and popping off long-range shots might also get you some surprise kills, especially if your target has already been injured in a separate firefight. Overall, I think this game lands somewhere in between, say, the Battlefield series and Squad, and it just feels pretty good. Most of the gameplay that you're going to see here in the background is with default weapons, because I didn't realize that the customization had to be done outside of the game itself. More on that in a minute, because the customization is mind-blowing how much there is in the game right now. But before I talk about customization, I want to cover vehicles just briefly, because I really like what they're doing here. They've got lots of armor and transport vehicles, but the aircraft are going to be call-in airstrikes. They're not going to try and shoehorn aircraft into a modern FPS like Battlefield 3 and 4 did, which, even though I loved piloting in those games, I can appreciate the more realistic take on aircraft for this FPS game here in World War III, where it's very obvious that you can't have a jet that's just circling around a tiny map to provide air cover. Your airstrikes are going to be call-ins, but all of the ground vehicles are controllable and customizable. Surprisingly, I found the vehicle physics to be in a very polished state already. I would say even more polished than most of the Battlefield alphas and betas that I've seen in the past. Even the ATVs and other transports didn't have all kinds of wonky, crazy acceleration and collision physics. Everything feels pretty grounded and solid already. These vehicles, I would say, are completely shippable as they are. I spent about 20 minutes in a main battle tank, and it was quite easy to figure out the different ammo types, and then how I had to go back to base to repair and rearm my tank. These vehicles also have limited turret rotation and ammo capacity, a couple of features that Battlefield 5 is adding to the Battlefield franchise, which I really enjoy. It helps ground that vehicle gameplay just a bit and balance it out a bit when you're fighting against infantry. So yeah, again guys, I'm going to eat my words a bit here. I was extremely skeptical of this game, but all of the gameplay, every last bit of both the infantry and vehicle gameplay has impressed me. Once they get some balancing done and fix some of your classic beta bugs, like the fact that I got stuck in an allied vehicle a couple of times and couldn't get out, and then proceeded to fall through the map over and over again while trying to spawn, some stuff like that needs to get ironed out. But as far as core gameplay mechanics go, they really have set the bar pretty high here. Finally, that brings me to customization, and this is where, if I can possibly pull some audio off of my microphone when I was recording the B-roll footage, I'm going to play some of that for you guys, because my jaw literally dropped when I started dropping down all of the sub-menus in the main screen customization options and realized how much customization there already was here in the beta version of this game. What? I love customization in a shooter. It's one of my favorite things about the Arma series, and Escape from Tarkov, for example. And what we have here in World War III, again, even here in beta, is a wild amount of customization that you can pay for with in-game currency. I had earned enough currency to unlock some cosmetics and some accessories for a couple of different weapons with just a couple of hours of gameplay. I'm not familiar with how their microtransactions and in-game currency are going to work, but again, there's just a surprising amount of options already here, and I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of what's available. For now, color me impressed, and I'm going to roll some raw gameplay so you guys can get a look at how the game is performing and how that gameplay is working out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Objective Alpha 2 is under attack. Objective Alpha 1 is under attack. Our units are taking hold of Objective Charlie 1. Objective Delta 1 is under attack. Our units are taking hold of Objective Bravo.